UPSC Engineering Services Examination 2019 is just over today, and in paper 1 and paper 2 students have performed, but this year what is the expected cutoff, what kind of the questions have been asked? So these are the questions, something which we are talking about, and today we have with us entire MADE mechanical engineering team, and subject wise subject we will have discussion to know the standard of questions, the type of questions, and the nature and behavior of the answers and questions. So let us take the subject each. So first subject is theory of machine. Amit, I would like to know how many questions have been asked, what is the level of difficulty, and how the students might have performed.
Yes. There are total 16 questions which has been asked from theory of machines, and out of 16 questions, 8 are totally physical, which those questions are checking their physical knowledge, whether the students have studied in the class completely or how many students have missed the class. If they are missing the class, those questions cannot be attempted because they are highly physical. Not exactly theory based, but they are highly physical. And 8 are numericals, which are very good above standard numericals. And those students who have prepared last year conventional, and as far as we used to say in the class, the objectives are made from the big conventional problems. This year, this examination paper has shown this point. Exactly 2 to 3 questions last year in last 5 years, whatever they have asked in conventional paper, exactly the same objective question, the same data they have asked a single part. So those students who will be preparing good in the conventional problem as well with the objective, they will be getting a very good advantage this year.
Students, how do you see the last year paper and this year paper? What is the difficulty level this year?
So this year paper is much more difficult as compared to last year. Calculation point of view also, the calculators will be allowed, but it is required there, but they are not allowed.
What is your opinion?
Sir, some questions were direct in the theory. Means you can answer if you have attended the class. But in the numerical part, it is about choosing the right questions. Because a flywheel question was there. Like it was totally conventional question. That vibration question, totally conventional question. Whosoever have gone through with the conventional practice, they must have have some advantage. So it is, if for a student point of view in the exam, in this particular question papers, numerical aptitude and the calculation was pretty tough. Okay. So it is about taking the good questions. Like if the calculation is very lengthy, avoid such questions. It will be fruitful to the students.
I'm coming to the strength of material, which is a fundamental subject. Every year more questions. What was this year's standard of the paper, Krishna?
This year paper covered almost all the basics, but they left the major topic. There is no question from the principal stress and the Moore circle. That is one of the major difference observed from the previous paper and this paper. And except principal stresses, they have covered each and every topic. They have covered it, and all the topics are based on the basics. And all the numerical questions are going to be out of the 17 questions. 15 questions are numerical based. And some questions are going to be lengthy calculations are there. Without calculator, it will be take some time, little bit more time taking. 2 questions are straightforward questions. Overall, I can tell the paper is going to be, when compared to last year, it is going to be little bit lengthy. And some questions are going to be completely concept-oriented questions are there.
So when the questions are difficult and some questions really require the calculator, without calculator, how to proceed? I think students have to escape, or they can make a guess.
Without calculator, they cannot do that. They cannot guess it also answer, because there are going to be whole to the power of 1/4 and all the calculation. They cannot be done without calculator.
So it was not expected, but it had happened. Coming to the next, the part of the material science. And material science this year had been 13 questions.
Yes.
So what is your opinion, the level of difficulty? And
in total there are 13 questions, and out of which there are 5 numerical problems and 8 questions are theory questions. Compared to the last year, more or less the standard is maintained as such, and the numerical problems which are given are straight away based on some formulae or direct application of principle only.
When we see whatever we have taught in classes,
yes,
is that sufficient? The nature of questions asked and our teaching, is it matching?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Whatever the students have come across in the classroom, instructional practices, that has really helped them very well because most of the things that they came across in the examination are very much covered in the class. There are only 2 or 3 theory questions on which the students will have to think a few seconds of time and then answer. That might have resulted in a little amount of time for them. Otherwise, questions are reasonably comfortable. Only thing is 2 or 3 questions are a little difficult to handle.
Difficult to.
Yes.
Okay, coming to the IC engine, what is the nature and behavior of questions this year?
This year actually in IC engine they asked like 6 questions. 5 are numerical and 1 is theoretical question. Numericals are a little bit like you require calculator, but if you have a little bit conceptual knowledge, like if you solve few previous year conventional question, then you can easily solve those questions by just by eliminating the options only.
Any previous year questions repeated?
Yes, there are actually 2 questions are previous year, which is from engineering service round 3. They directly ask that conventional question in the objective examination.
In paper 1 general studies, we have seen in mathematics some gate questions are repeated in engineering services this year. Is there any such scenario in mechanical, gate questions repeated?
Yes, I think like almost the engineering service numerical part is similar to gate paper. Similar to gate paper, like if a person is preparing for gate, the direct cycles question are there, diesel cycle assumption questions are there.
Coming to the thermodynamics, what is your opinion? It's a basic subject, every year questions are based on it, and more or less same in RAC and thermo. So nature of questions, type of questions, and total number of questions as compared to last year, what is difference?
Total 8 questions in thermodynamics have been asked. Out of the 8 questions, 1 was the theoretical question and the 7 were numerical problems. The numerical problems were very lengthy problems. They require calculator. Without the help of calculator, it is difficult to solve because options are also close enough. And whatever we have covered in the class, if you have slightly practiced some numerical problem or you have prepared for the GATE exam, you will be surely able to solve these problems. But in a given time, it is difficult without the help of the calculator.
So what is your opinion about the test series questions of MADE and their standard and the actual exam questions and that standard? Is it matching or difference?
Test series slightly from the previous year, it was at a slightly higher level, and whatever questions we have seen in the thermodynamics, so that type of question has been asked in the test series. So
it was matching.
Yes, it was matching.
Coming to the HMT, Rahul, so what is your opinion about heat transfer type of questions total?
So total 7 question has been asked, and in which there are 4 numerical and 3 theoretical question. In 4 numerical, 3 were easy, direct formula based, which can be calculated without calculator. But 1 question requires calculator. Remaining 3 theoretical questions are easy. It can be solved if person has taken class entirely. Then it can be solved.
Okay. Manoj, what is your opinion about on HMT? The nature of questions?
The questions was easy, but they asked from boiling condensation. They increased the domain from engineering services point of view. Because from previous year questions, about 13-14 years, they asked only 2-3 questions from the boiling condensation. But now they are asking from boiling and condensation. So this is the new area which was covered in the conventional batches, and we have covered so much. So most of the questions from the conventional batches.
Mandalji, production engineering this year has been less in number, total only 6 questions, but it is a huge syllabus and big subject and important subject, and especially for the engineering services it has been always important. What is your comment on it and what is the nature of questions this year?
Actually, this was happened in 2013. Same thing happened there in IES 2013. Number of questions in the material science was very high compared to production. And same thing happened here. Material science they have given 13 questions, and from total production they have only 6 questions, which is very less because.
But this is all. What about the exam? Actually, we never know which area is going to be.
And 2013 is repeated here.
Right.
In 2013 it was.
The pattern is similar to behavior like.
Yes.
Okay. And Gunjan, robotics this year again 4 questions. So what is the nature of questions in robotics?
The questions were very interesting. There were 4 questions from robotics. Out of that, 1 question was from direct transformation, and that was a very easy matrix calculation was there. The second question was from control resolution. The third question was from the degrees of freedom, which was absolutely expected. We were expecting a question from SCAR robot that has been asked before in 2017-2018, but I think the SCAR robot will be asked in the conventional paper. There was one question which was out of syllabus, that was from static force analysis. In the syllabus of UPSC, we have actually the kinematics concept, but here they have asked from static force analysis, that is actually out of syllabus. So I think that will trouble the students a little bit. Moreover, there was one question from non-traditional machining as well, but that was a bit tedious to solve because there was a very long calculation on the time, as the time was calculated in seconds, and there was a time was given in 4 weeks. So overall, if I just bring a nutshell to robotics, there were 4 questions. Out of that, 1 was out of syllabus, and 3 questions were very interesting and tricky.
In mechatronics, again, a new area, but not many questions this year again. What is your opinion, and which source or which book is you will advise for students to read with? Because 13 questions is really important.
So, as mechatronics is a new subject which has been introduced in 2017, it's a very good scoring subject for the student because in the first year 2017 5 questions were asked, and 2018 9 to 10 questions were asked, and 2019 it has been 13 questions. So every year we can see a rise in the graph, and hence this subject is a very scoring subject for the student. This year 60% of the questions were from the basics. There were 2 numericals, and little bit of typical depth of question was increased in 2 more questions. So it requires little bit thorough study of basic fundamentals, and the syllabus would be almost equivalent to the basic part of EC and electrical. Same depth of questions are there in the basic questions. So preferably Ramesh S. Gaonkar or B. Ram textbooks will be preferred for the basic level of preparation.
When we come to the machine design, Padmesh, what is your opinion on the nature and difficulty level?
Oh, this year from machine design, 7 questions has been asked, in which 6 are from basic theory questions and 1 numerical. And numerical question required calculator, so this is very difficult for the student. Or 6 questions are very simple questions, straightforward questions, direct class notes question. Or I think level of machine design remains same like last year.
Okay. Saurav, industrial engineering 4 questions. What is your opinion, and which area they concentrated basically?
Exactly, in this year industrial, the only 4 questions were there, and that 2 non-traditional one. Normally they used to ask more from per CPM or inventory. Hardly they have not asked any single one question from those topics. They have asked from economics, engineering economics, and that quality control portion which has been deleted from industrial. Earlier it was in our syllabus, now it is in the quality control. But the questions were easier, the students have easily handled.
So it means, looking on this year pattern, the students are supposed to study the entire syllabus. They are supposed to practice more and more questions. Previous year papers are very important, and especially the mains question papers and conventional questions have become important. Coming to the subject of the power plant, which is really important, and 17 questions this year we find power plant type. So the nature and behavior of questions, I would like to have the opinion of both of you.
17 questions from power plant, but 10 were the numerical and 7 theoretical questions were there. And in this portion also, gas turbine being a very important part, totally lived out. Not a single question from gas turbine, no question from condenser, cooling tower. But the questions were very easy. The students, those who are practicing conventional questions along with objective, will be easily able to handle. The only thing being, it requires calculator. Some questions were really tough without having calculator. It was very difficult to complete in a very less time.
Good. So Asher, RAC is another important area of the thermal section. So your opinion on it?
So in this year, total 8 questions are asked. Out of 8 questions, 5 are theoretical and 3 are numericals.
Right.
But they have increased the domain of some chapters with respect to your theoretical point of view. That was discussed in the conventional part. That was not asked from the last 20 years in the theoretical part. Okay. Like your Electrolux refrigeration system and like your refrigeration equipment chapter.
Right. So they fear they have touched those areas which usually they ask in conventional.
Conventionals.
Right. In fact, we have seen in most of the areas conventional questions are framed for objective.
Yes. Exactly.
Renewable energy again becoming important year by year. So what is the opinion around on it?
First year when the subject was introduced newly, only 3 questions were asked in the objective. So everybody thought that this subject is not having that importance. But in the same year, in the conventional, they asked 84 marks. So now the people were thinking that it's now important subject. But next year, again, UPSC asked only one question from the objective. Again, in the conventional, 96 marks. So we used to say in the class, sir, that it is important. Maybe.
What is your opinion on it?
Actually, renewable is a new and also a new technology. So, like in future, they may ask more questions. And overall, if we see, like there are total 12 questions, 2 straight numericals, and 10 theoretical questions are there. Out of 10, like we can say like 2 are research questions. Like it's like almost impossible if you are studying as per the research point of view. Then you will able to solve those questions.
So
very difficult.
This year they
have. What I have observed after discussion with all of you, the 3 areas which were added recently in this syllabus: renewable, mechatronics, and robotics.
They have increased.
The number of questions are considerably high here as compared to the syllabus. It means the totals. This area is scoring. I believe that if you put less efforts, you can generate more marks. Right. Coming to the topic of fluid mechanics, which has been always and ever important and very conceptual. This year, 15 questions. So, Mr. Pathak, what is your opinion and your study about it?
So, if we talk about fluid mechanics this year, including machinery part, there has been a total of 15 questions, in which 3 questions were theory part and 12 questions were numerical part. If we consider the theory questions, in the theory part, they have almost research-oriented questions. I would say they have asked 2 questions for which critical thinking is required to crack those questions. And apart from that, for the numerical part, according to me, UPSC has touched almost each and every topic in fluid mechanics, covering complete syllabus in the numerical part. But the only concern is that the questions were fundamental. If the student has prepared well for GATE examination, he will get definitely benefited in solving the numericals. But the only concern is the use of calculator, because the calculations were quite lengthy. So that is the main point.
Jitendra, what is your opinion about the important topics have been asked more, or less conventional topics have been asked more?
No, sir, except one question is extremely difficult. If we leave that one question, other questions are from conventional part only. And whatever we have discussed in the class, with that discussion, all those questions can be dealt. And moreover, 70% of the questions are too much calculative, which requires calculator. Otherwise, they have conventional approach.
So the main difficulty was the use of calculator.
Use of calculation only. One question is extremely difficult. One has normal difficulty. So we cannot expect student to deal that question. Rest 11 question can be easily dealt with.
Sailendra, you have seen the fluid machinery portion. So how many questions and the nature of questions?
If we consider this year and last year, the last year 11 questions has been asked from this topic. But this year the number has gone suddenly to 3. Out of these 3, one is a theory question and 2 are the numerical question. The theory question is very straightforward, definition based question. And out of those 2 numerical questions, one is, we cannot expect that question to come because that area has not been covered in the last, I think, on the history of the UPSC. So that question, I think that the student will have a much more difficulty to attempt. The another numerical question was a bit easy, that a normal student can attempt it.
Ravinder, in the engineering mechanics, what was the behavior, nature questions?
Sir, this year they have asked 2 questions. Both of them were conventional questions. Very like, if somebody have been practicing for GATE, it would be easy for them. The question, both of them were like, one of the question was from the basics, but it was calculative, like integration you have to go through with the procedure. And the another one was of natural frequency, that too is of very good level. And if you like, attempting in a given time, it was challenging for the students. That is the main concern.
I find that nearly 30% questions are theory based and around 70% are numerical questions. And in engineering services, when the calculator is not allowed, 70% questions numerical is really difficult, and to solve within the given 3 hours duration is really tough. This year, I believe, and as per the discussion, all students must not be in comfort zone of solving the problems in the given duration of time. What is the opinion collectively, what can be the cutoff this year as compared to last year? Let me tell, last year cutoff was 256 for general, and it was 255 for OBC, SC it was 220, and ST it was 223. So as compared to last year, what do you expect this year in mechanical cutoff, where will be up or down? So you can see that unanimously all agreed it is going to be down. In prelims paper 1, again 10 to 15 marks score will be less as compared to last year, and in the paper 2 technical, all of us in the entire team agrees it may be 40 to 50 marks less. So last year if it was 250 to 56, this year it may come down to less than 200. And in mechanical, if you are scoring 190 to 200, you may expect your call for the mains examination in general category. For OBC, 5 to 10 marks may be different. 5 to 10 marks, not percentage. 5 to 10 marks may be a difference, otherwise it may be equivalent also. For SC/ST, as compared to last year, maybe 30 to 35 marks less from the general category. So you can expect 150 somewhere, 160 for the SC/ST, 190 to 200 somewhere near around for the general and OBC category. Now, if you are not getting this score, it does not mean you have failed. Your success is only postponed, or maybe a variation of 5-10%, whatever we have told. It is our estimated cutoff. Actual cutoff may or may not be different. So this is our finding. We have tried our level best to give the solution. Let me tell all the students that this is the whole team of the MADE EG Mechanical Engineering, and almost all the teachers are available except few who are not here today because of personal reasons. But the solutions we have prepared collectively in consultation, but there is a lot of subjectivity always. The solutions given by us are the closest one. If you feel there is any deviation and you expect that is, any other answer is a better answer, we invite the challenges from you within next 24 hours or 48 hours. And if we find your challenges are really correct and our answers are not correct, we will definitely modify our answers and we will upload the modified version. There is always a scope of improvement. MADE team always consistently makes the effort for the improvement. Recently we have updated our study material for the 2019-20 batches for 2020, and based on the pattern of the paper today, we are going to modify and include the new content in our teaching content, workbooks and theory books and previous year's old papers. We have also this year rectified the errors and the mistakes in the previous year papers, and we have done a lot of homework. And now, in one sentence, if I ask you which source of study you will suggest for your subject, then let us start. What is your opinion, Amit, about the subject?
Entire MADE material. We cannot leave a single book given by MADE.
And in fact, that is most of the top rankers, students saying the same thing.
Even a conventional book, what the MADE is providing to the students, we cannot leave even in objectives.
Dear students, I will also like to tell you, preparation for the conventional questions is always an advantage for your coming exam. Whether you write the mains examination of engineering services or not, but this conventional preparation is going to help you in several other examinations, including the GATE and including the civil services examination in coming years. And this is definitely a concept clearing session. If you have any doubt and difficulty, if you attend the conventional sessions, you will definitely be able to clear it. Right, so we definitely recommend and advise you to attend the conventional sessions, but anyway, it depends on your preference and choice and your evaluation for yourself. Right, so thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Vinod, please.
Regarding production, sir.
Right.
Actually, in recent changes in the syllabus, this robotics and mechatronics also included in production topic only, sir.
Right.
That's why slightly decrease in weightage for production, conventional production, but robotics and mechatronics weightage has increased. But conventional point of view,
production is
more important.
That is absolutely
so students are advised to prepare more for theoretical production.
And
also.
always, Union Public Service Commission is one of the most transparent, one of the most respected organization in our country, and definitely we believe 100% whatever is done, that is done for the requirement of different departments. So there is always unpredictability. This year may not be more questions from the production, but next year there can be again more number of questions, and that is happening.
Conventional point of view, production also weightage, more weightage is
yes. So for conventional, you cannot afford to escape this subject of production engineering. Although the question paper this year was difficult, but I believe it was for everybody. So what is your opinion, Saurabh?
See, it was tough, but not for a single one student. It was tough for the whole students. And in these types of questions, it is very important we should select means the questions which can be easily solved out, the time consuming less, that we will given preference. Those who are lengthier, we can leave out it for the later one.
So Amit, what is your?
Yes, absolutely true, Saurabh. Whatever you have said, it's a relative competition. After all, the merit will be based on the relative competition.
And it is going to be within mechanical.
Within mechanical, yes.
Right. So Mandal sir, what is your view on it?
Actually, it is not a selection process. It is a rejection process. So, for easy or for difficult, if question paper was easy, it is easy for everyone. But only few people will be selected. If it is difficult also, that number of students will be selected.
In fact, I will tell you one thing here. When the question paper is difficult, the good students, laborious students, and those who are very consistently attending the classes of MADE AG and attending for the mains, they definitely get an advantage. You are exactly right. It is a rejection process.
So, for is making time to read all the questions is very important here. That is because the UPSC has granted 1 minute 2 seconds for every question. Those who don't follow the question will be definitely losers of those silly questions which are known to them.
This year we have seen one more change. Reasoning assessment questions are only 6.
Yes.
And in all the branches it is the same.
Yes.
So I think in one sense it is good because there is always chance of ambiguity in the answer of A or B in the reasoning assessment. So I think it is in favor of students.
In favor of students.
Right. So any final comment, Krishna sir?
Sir, for selection of the question, the MADE test series is going to be very useful, sir. Definitely. Otherwise, without test series, they cannot select the proper questions. After appearing for the so many test series, they can know what way they can approach the examination, which questions they can leave, which question they are going to be lengthy. So for them, I suggest that most of the students, the test series, MADE test series is going to be very useful in any examination.
Right. So the test series is absolutely important and GATE is coming ahead. If you have not practiced for IES, then at least for GATE do practice. And engineering services test series online has been extended till GATE examination by MADE. So that is available till the GATE examination. Thank you everybody. Best of luck.